In March 2024, the Osun State government commenced teachers' recruitment exercise to fill the deficit in many government schools. Since then, there has been a number of screening processes conducted by the state government. In September, the Commissioner for Education, Dipo Eluwole, said this set of 5,000 new teachers would resume academic activities with the students. But this is November, and this set of new teachers are yet to resume.
By the grace of God, new teachers will resume with the pupils come 2 weeks this time. By next week, there's going to be interview. You will be hearing it on radio as from Wednesday. So the state has been zoned.
Many government schools like this, especially those in the rural areas, are suffering for the tardiness of the state government in the recruitment process. In some of the schools that we visited, the students complain of not having basic subject teachers like mathematics, English, biology, among other subjects. We also saw cases of schools having about 5, 6 or 9 teachers taking a whole secondary school. This is the situation in many government schools. Mrs. Shakirat has 2 children in government-owned secondary schools who often greet her with lamentations of insufficient teachers while returning from their schools. One of our kids who will be sitting for the West African Senior School Certificate Examination, WASC, has been lagging behind in academics, no thanks to the deficit of teachers. Mrs. Shakirat says her child at ADS Grammar School, Ifon, in Orulu local government area of Osun State, has not had mathematics, physics, and further mathematics teacher for 3 years now.
Ó máa complain tó bí 3 years báyìí tán tí máa complain pé àwọn ò ní teacher. Ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run kí wọ́n ràn wá lọ́wọ́ kí wọ́n síjú àánú wò wá o. Alágbára àti kó ọmọ sí public ló jẹ́ ká fi wọ́n sí lọ́jà alágbára àti pé ọmọ lọ sí public ló jẹ́ ká wọn kó wọn lọ sí private. Àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n wà ní school wọn ní àwọn teacher. Àwọn míì fẹ́ ṣe WAEC lọ́dún yìí tó ṣe pé kò teacher fún wọn bí mathematics àti physics. Tí wọn bá ní àwọn nǹkan yẹn báwo ni wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ pass nínú exam tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣe ẹjọ́ ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Àwọn ọmọ mi tó fẹ́ ṣe WAEC lọ́dún yìí ó wà nù wọn ó máa ń complain. Èyí tó wà tí wà ní SS1 náà nísìnyí àwọn náà máa ń complain. Ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Àwọn tí ẹni máa gba teacher láti oṣù kẹta yẹn wọ́n wá láwọn ọmọ bá wọn àwọn teacher tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbà wọ́n bá wọlé ní oṣù kẹsàn-án wọn àti ìwọlé nísìnyí o.
In some of the schools visited by Western Spring Television outside the state capital, some secondary schools, mostly in rural communities, have just 5, 7 or 9 teachers for over 15 subjects. A total of 5 teachers, including the principal, who managed to teach students in EGBEDI High School, EGBEDI local government area, have been worn out, as the PTA chairman of the school, ADEYEMI AJAYI, asked government to prioritize the school in the recruitment process. Mr. Ajayi, who also volunteers to teach the students in the school, says the deficit discourages the students from their education pursuit.
There is no enough teacher. We are teaching, we depend on corpus and the little teachers sent to the community, 5 of them, including the principal. We lack teachers on mathematics, English, physics, chemistry, biology, and Greek. So we are expecting the government to consider our school first.
This has been the trend in many government schools, but hopes have been resuscitated since the announcement of teachers' recruitment by the state government, with calls for schools in rural communities.
Education, the bedrock of development in any sane society, as you watched in that report. Osun State is lacking in teachers, especially for public schools. There were, reports of an announcement of recruitment of teachers in March, and the teachers were supposed to resume with the students in September, but this is November, and the students are yet to get to their teachers. For so many schools, we have, a reduced number of teachers, 7 teachers taking 15 subjects, and some students don't even have teachers for some subjects as core as mathematics and further mathematics. To help us in this discussion, we are going to be having a conversation, is the Senior Assistant Secretary General, Nigeria Union of Teachers, NUT, and the Secretary, Nigeria Union of Teachers, Osun State Wing. We have with us Comrade Akiyade Ojo. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You're welcome.
All right, so let's just get right into it. You are a member of the Nigeria Union of Teachers, so yes. I'd just like to ask, briefly, What's the situation like for your members at this time before we delve in proper into the topic of discussion?
Well, thank you so much. As far as teachers are concerned, the situation of Nigeria, that's where we find ourselves presently, but things are not so rosy with us now. Like what I've just seen on the screens. You know, we have some schools where in primary school, where we'll be having just 3 teachers, manning primary 1 to 6. You know,
wait, let me get that straight. You have 3 teachers
three
handling
teachers.
6 classes.
Yes.
So a teacher can be assigned to 2 classes.
That is why teaching is not longer effective when you have primary 1, primary 2, even at times primary 3 merged together. At times, how do you want teaching to be effective in such situation?
In this state?
In this state. You see, our classrooms are virtually empty. Osun State is 30 or 31 local government states. The teachers in Kwara are neighboring states. Kwara is 16 local government states. The teachers there is almost double what Osun is. You know, I mention Kwara now because you can, is their next neighbor. Yeah. You can easily verify this. The teachers there is almost double of what we are having in Osun. So the situation is as bad as that. We have secondary school that, very many secondary schools will be having 6, 7, 8 teachers teaching almost 18, 19, 20 subjects.
So
we are not finding it easy.
When the government announced the recruitment of teachers in March, how did you feel?
Yes, we were happy. We welcome it. We even wrote a letter to appreciate them, to thank them that, yes, because we have been agitating for this. Now that it's like they are acting to our voice, they are granting our request now. We wrote to appreciate and we were happy. We even visited a commissioner for education. So the process, we were even invited. TESCOM, Teaching Service Commission, TESCOM, invited us, myself and the chairman. We were there. We were even made to be part of the initial process of recruiting teachers. And we were happy. But along the line, we started noticing some, don't want to use,
What did you notice? What were the things you noticed?
It's like you are not following what they have said. You know, they told us the processes this thing we take, but along the lines, like they are deviating. So even when they said the exam will hold, the exam didn't hold there. Yeah. Later, we thank God, we had the exam, interviews were conducted, we were happy. But since then, we were told that they are going to employ 5,000.
Yeah.
And we are happy. No 5,000, even TESCOM alone. TESCOM, not even SUBEB. You know, we have TESCOM for senior secondary school. We have SUBEB for primary and junior secondary school. Yeah. TESCOM alone requested for 14,000 teachers.
TESCOM
alone.
In Osun State.
In Osun State.
Requested for 14,000.
That is the vacancies for secondary school teachers. But let's let them even start somewhere. If it's this 5,000, because they said 2,005 to TESCOM, 2,005 to SUBEB, and we were happy. But this thing is not enough. It's not adequate now. But let them even start somewhere. So we were happy. At least they wanted to start somewhere now. So let us encourage them. And we were there. But along the line, after the interview has been conducted, we were told. Myself and the chairman, we were in the office of the Commissioner for Education. He told us on September 16, that the teachers will resume, also those that are on holiday, to start this new section with students. Yeah. But
so when this delay happened, you just mentioned now that they were supposed to resume with the students for this new session, but it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
So when the delay happened, did your union go back to meet the government to ask what the reason for the delay?
One of that, I don't want to mention it, but when there, we asked, how you said these people, they said that it's because of this minimum wage, that now minimum wage is on the way. They wanted to know the mutual amongst the government and labor will agree on, so that they will know how to plan. Okay, that is the case. But so far now, it's like the issue of minimum wage has been settled. And though Osun has not
made any announcement yet.
Announcement has not been made.
So the commissioner gave you an initial date of September 15.
The September 16.
16,
yes.
So that they can resume the new session.
That is when the new section.
And the session is no more new because it's more than half right now.
Just this first time is more than half.
Yeah, the students and pupils have gone on meet and break already.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you, dear Secretary, that if you are to put it, is there a number? What's the size of the teaching profession? I'm talking about those that are registered as your members in Osun State. Do we have a number, the figure?
Those that are presently teaching.
Yes.
We may not have the exact figure now because you see the way they are coming in retiring. Teachers are retiring daily. They are retiring daily. So if I
you are the secretary of the association.
Yes, that is what I'm saying.
If you can put a rough estimate.
I may not be able to make sure the exact number because of the way they are retiring. You see, especially those that came in around early 80s, middle 80s, the way they are going now, they are retiring almost every day. But minus plus, teachers in primary school now, they are just about 8,000. 8,000 with little.
Plus or minus?
Plus or minus.
How about secondary school?
The same thing, that of secondary school. Plus, like I said, it may not be
accurate.
Accurate, yeah.
But it's just less than 6,000.
So cumulatively, we are talking about less than
14,000.
14,000.
Yes.
And for all the schools?
For all the public primary, junior, and senior secondary school.
So how has it been? Tell me what it is, because now we'll talk about people in the urban centers. How about people in the rural areas as well? Because that report done by our, always efficient Toby Sanusi spoke about, some villages and some headmasters who are even say, okay, we have to join the teaching at this time right now. How with the report that you get from your members, what are they saying? The
urban sector is even better compared to rural areas. The rural areas, the situation, everybody wants to enjoy life in this
in the city.
So the situation is worse in rural areas.
What are they saying? What do they tell you?
Rural areas, this is where at times, we do visit them.
Yeah.
To at least to have one on ground. At times, you see a school with one headmaster, 2 teachers. One headmaster. Virtually, I don't know any school here in Osun now, even in urban area, that have assistant headmaster. Whereas there are some schools that are supposed, I want to mention names so that you can verify.
Yes, please.
In Ekiti, I don't know of any school that will not have at least 2 assistant headmasters.
Whether rural or in urban centers.
Just Ekiti, it's another neighbor, so you can verify. I mentioned Kwara, it's our neighbor here. In the other side, maybe in the northern side, now you have Ekiti. So you can verify. I don't know, but here in Osun, even in Osogbo, because when you are mentioning those that are in urban area, I think Osogbo will come first. I doubt if we have up to 5 schools that have assistants.
Why not? Why has it changed? What
has
changed?
Because why do when classrooms are virtually empty, and now say somebody should now sit in the office as assistant? You have to.
Why is it empty? Like the children are not coming?
It's not that the children are not coming. The children are there. Even with the situation we find ourselves now, economically, as far as Nigeria is concerned, very many parents now wish their children to go to public school. But the situation of public schools are, having them back to private school, which they cannot even afford. And that is why we have some very many secondary school, private school are spring up. You see a room, some completed building, you call themselves or labeling themselves international.
Quickly,
because there are no teachers handling this important subject. In fact, every subject is even important now. because we don't have teachers handling these subjects at both primary and secondary school.
Comrade, there was a situation of people seeking for extension as well at some point, the extension of service. How is that coming through?
Yes.
Have they been granted?
They have been granted to some extent.
Okay.
Because, we fought for it, that instead, because you see some people at the age of, after spending 35 or at the age of 60, they are still agile, they are still able. These people will retire and they will go back to private school. So they said, you cannot give what you don't even have. And they said experience teaches better. So this kind of a situation, say, okay, let us have this thing. Let these people be retained up to 65 or 40, whichever comes first now. To some extent, Osun has granted that request, but because here in Osun, those that were granted is more or less on contract basis.
Okay. On
contract basis. And that is not exactly what that law says. There shouldn't be, it's just like what happened in judiciary. That, okay, you can reach, even in universities, where a professor can reach up to age 70. And judiciary, I think 65, and some even 70. But here now they said, once you reach 35, if you want to enjoy that extension, you first of all retire, and a kind of contract. Even those that were given now.
So it's not really like extension.
It's not really like extension.
It's more like a contract thing.
It's like a contract.
Like how many of them?
I don't know the number, because some that retired, some did not even take that.
Have they resumed?
They've resumed.
Okay.
They've resumed.
Evelyn.
Okay, so I'm very, very big on, when the government will bring the teachers on board because of the students. I'm very particular about that because of the students.
Well, I may not be able to.
Now, you mentioned earlier that you were given a reason the minimum wage.
Yes.
They are trying to see how much the minimum wage would be. I want to know, will that actually determine whether they're going to reduce the number if the minimum wage they had already calculated before? I hope you get my question.
Yes.
Do you think that may be the reason they want to reduce the number from 5,000?
Yes, we have even told sometimes that because of this extension, those that get that extension, that the number will be reduced to 3,000. We even still welcome that. Let them even start somewhere. That has been our agitation. Let these people start somewhere. We were told that the number those will be recruited will not be reduced from 5,000 at the initial stage. It was 5,000. As those will be, that number will now be reduced to 3,000. We still welcome them. But later, so they know with the situation of things, they are bringing it back to that 5,000. But 3,000, 5,000, we have not seen any light now as far as that recruitment is concerned. So even when you ask some of them, the officers, they tell you you don't even know anything apart from where we were before. Okay. So,
because I'm worried. If at this point you said the schools are undermanned, you need 14,000. I think you said you need 14,000 for the secondary schools. And,
yes, according to the man in charge.
And now
they requested for about 14,000 teachers.
And the government wants to give you
2,500 for that sector.
2005 to TESCOM,
2005 to BEB.
Osun State's rank in the WAEC performance was, I think the last one was 30. We're 30th position out of the 36 states, and it got a lot of people worried. Even the governor was worried about it.
We will not be worried about that. Osun State, Southwestern State for that matter.
Now I want you to do a comparison of what we had before now. I'm not saying probably the immediate past administration, but was there a time where in Osun State we had enough teachers? We had, our education was excellent.
Yes, I was not here then. I'm a paid secretary. Who transfer from one state to another. I've been in Edo, I've been in Kwara, I've worked in Ekiti, and presently I'm in Osun.
Okay.
You see, but I was told.
But you're a teacher.
No.
Okay.
I'm a paid secretary.
Paid secretary.
I'm
For the association.
For that.
The NUT.
For NUT.
All right. Go ahead.
So my employers are in Abuja. That's why I can be transferred from one state to another.
I understand.
But I was told that before Akande administration, because my Oga who was here then, from the Wale Oyeniyi, maybe you found that name, he was in charge. When I was in Ekiti, Oga Wale was here. I was told that Osun had enough, at least something near that language, enough teachers before Akande, that it was during Akande administration that said, you are history teacher, go. You are religion studies teacher, go. Started sacking them. And since then,
that was before 1999.
That's between 1999 and 2003.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Between
Chibisa Akande was governor between 1999 and 2003.
So between that period, teachers were massively sacked.
So that was when the education of Osun State started nosedive.
That is especially when it comes to issue of recruitment, teachers number, students, teachers, relationship. We have as the numbers of teachers. UNESCO even recommends that to have effective teaching and learning, that a teacher in primary school students should not be more than 18, between 18 and 26. For you to be able to handle them effectively. But in a situation now where you have 3 or 4 teachers
and entire school
with the whole school, so you just have to merge them. You merge primary 1 at times with primary 2 and primary 3, and you want that teaching to be effective.
They match them and teach them the same thing. So either they catch up or they don't catch up. It's nobody's problem.
But how do you want to help that situation when you are in a school where they have primary 1, primary 2, primary 3, primary 4, and you are just 3 or 4 teachers at times 3 in there. The HM, what I mean by HM is either headmaster or headmistress, will be the number 3 or number 4 at times. How to and these people must be taken care of. So to do something, you just have to merge primary 1 with primary 2 so that they will be occupied. And you cannot be teaching 2 different things at a time.
Yes. Was it the same situation in the past administration? Was it this bad?
It wasn't as bad as this, but this thing did not just start now.
Okay.
It didn't just start now. I told you that though I was not here then.
When did you come here?
I came here just last year.
Okay. All right. Now, if this situation remains like this and the recruitment appears unending, just like our topic says, because people, dates and deadlines have been given and it's not been followed from September 16, today is November 12, just 4 days away from making it a month. If the situation remains like this, in your comrade, and we hope it improves and immediately as well. But if it's like this, teachers, 5 or 7 of them manning an entire school, and we have it spread across the state, what does that say to our education and the future of the state?
Well, I may not even be able to, better than I do when
you are the professional.
Because as far as this thing is concerned, like I said, you can't give something you don't even have. And these people, government is trying their own way. At least when we talk of payment of salary, they are very regular. Even the one owed by the previous administration, this government is paying. So and they are meeting us in another different ways. But recruitment of teachers, that is where I'm very particular about that.
To the students.
That teachers, our classroom, especially in a rural area, they are virtually empty.
When you say the government is meeting you in other different ways, what do you mean?
Like provision of materials.
Okay.
Like teaching materials,
teaching kits,
tables, yes, all of they are trying there, and payment of salaries and even arrears and other benefits. Government, in fact, I give it to them.
Okay.
But when it comes to the issue of recruitment of teachers, in fact, I don't know what is delaying it. Now that they said minimum wage, well, I want to believe that we are still praying that, well, now that the issue of minimum wage is being settled, by the grace of God, maybe by the time we are resuming in January, maybe this the newly recruited, to use quote and unquote, newly recruited.
You're talking about January. That means you have considered the whole of this time.
This time is more
like
than
you're helpless.
half.
There's nothing you can do.
This time is more than half. And for these people to join us at this time, next month will be another holiday.
So if the situation remains the same, you from NUT, what can you do? What will you do? Or you just, in your own words, you just keep praying? Or there is something drastic
you keep on
that the NUT can do?
You keep on writing. I've written not less than 6 letters on this issue.
What were the responses? Were you responded to?
No.
To who?
To
the state government?
To government on this issue.
Through the ministry?
Ministry of Education, through different agencies.
And you didn't get any response?
No response, no acknowledgement safe to say, okay, your letter has been received, we are working on it. No.
Comrade Ojo, have you considered temporary solution? Now, I know that core members are always posted to public secondary schools to help in teaching, especially secondary schools. But I want to know if that is still in place, and have you considered, suggesting to the government if these core members can be absorbed probably on a contractual basis so that these subjects can still have teachers spending the time?
You said it with not, but then the fact remains that these core members have been posted to secondary school to teach, and they have been doing that.
Yeah.
So, but you cannot even ask governments to retain them or to employ them, because some of them are not even from this place, and we have enough. Some of them are not even. They don't even have education.
I'm saying
bias,
on a contractual
basis.
On a contractual basis, like you mentioned, for those that retired, the government.
We have enough people that are looking for job here in Osun. Those that have graduated, those that have read education. So most of these people, some maybe because just to have them, occupied. Some even probably psychology, sociology. We just ask them to come to schools just to engage them.
But we have people that read education that are teaching in schools.
Among them?
Yes.
The
core members.
Yes, it's possible, yes.
So I'm saying, if you find a core member worthy of
these people,
retainment,
the PTA, there are some PTA
because I wanted to ask about the PTA arrangement.
They make arrangement, but situation, because PTA, the PTA teachers, it is the PTA that are responsible for their upkeep in terms of allowances, salary, and all what have you. And the situation now.
All right.
Some may not even cater for your own children that are going to school. You find it not so easy, not to talk of contributing another money for the upkeep of PTA teachers. So they are living. I have a principal told me there was a time he was having about 13 PTA teachers, but today they've all gone.
Because the funding has been affected.
Yeah, that is it.
Now, on a parting shot, you at the NUT and at the national level, is the national intervening on this matter?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What way?
Even in the last World Teachers Day, you usually have a World Teachers Day on October 5th. It's one of the key issues discussed by the President of Nigeria Union of Teachers
on this matter.
On this matter, not on Osun State
on a general level.
Generally.
Now,
Comrade Amba, Audu Amba,
right.
That's our president.
All right. Do you
mention
trust
it, discuss it?
You at the NUT end, comrade, do you trust the Osun State government enough that they will do the needful immediately?
Yes, I want to believe the government will do the needful. They are still, doing their arithmetic. By the time they add 2 plus 2.
But for parents, the thing is, we have talked about the teachers angle. The parents are frustrated. Some of them are angry. You could see a parent saying, my children, they don't know what they should know. Some of them, they are not educated, but they want to go all out to give their children education.
Who will not be? My brother, that is what I'm saying the other time.
The parents
Some may not be able to afford private schools.
And so they are left.
And where you want the public school, they can afford
no teachers.
And no teachers. Right. Who will not be? Some of them are frustrated. Yeah. That's why they are complaining that we cannot afford this huge amount the school fees for private schools.
Now, the ones we are left to it, They are not well manned.
All right, Comrade Ojo, in 30 seconds, if you can do this, we'll give you the platform to send a message to the government. You said you've written letters, 6 letters, or and you didn't get any acknowledgement, let alone response. So I'd give you the opportunity to send a message to the government and what the NUT is expecting from the government at this time.
Thank you so much. Like I said, government is trying. We know the situation as far as finances of government is concerned, but then he wants to plead with government that education, there is no nation that can go above the level of office. So the teachers, they are those to impart this knowledge, and there cannot be teaching cannot be effective when they are not enough, when the hands are not, there is shortage of teachers. I want to say, please, they know, government knows that presently we have shortage of teachers. I want to plead with government to please do something as early as possible. Yes, if this 5,000, even if this 3,000, let letters be given, let them resume, so that just start somewhere. And I pray God will continue to strengthen the government.
All right. Senior Assistant Secretary General, Nigeria Union of Teachers, and Secretary, Nigerian Union of Teachers, Osun State Wing, Comrade Akinade Ojo, thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate your submissions and thoughts.
Thank you.
And
so
also, for the job you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. That's the show this morning. Of course, we spoke to security and education, 2 germane issues that speaks to the development of any nation. And we hope that we can get it right as a people. You can watch a recap of this show on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. Connect with us on our Instagram page, Facebook, and X at Western Spring Television. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei. Remember that Spring Trends comes right after this program.
And let us quickly add on this program that we'll reach out to the government end, actually, and they are not here, although we keep hoping they will show up and tell us what we need to know for clarity and the statement of purpose. But and let us state it there as a part in short, just like Evelyn said, everybody knows no nation, no state, no people can develop beyond the priority placed on important things such as education. We can buy the Land Cruisers, do the roads, which is fine, but then the future of this great state depends on the priority placed on its education. Let's do the needful. Femi Ojo is my name. We make a return tomorrow, God willing.